He's saying copies Widow? What?
My goodness. What swings out the corner, looks for a little bit more. That is monstrous. Something.
What?
Their success. And on the other side,
Wow, okay. What is going on? Why are we running Pharah? Okay, well, okay, let's talk about this. So this is actually not a strategy I've ever seen before, but there's immediate value out of the Pharah. Let's talk about this. Where the frick is Epic Pin? So what does Pharah do? You actually see this in a couple other situations. One example is you'll see this in King's Row first point attacks where people are on the high ground. You can just conk them off. But what this is you have these brawl trades happening. That is way too small. The brawl trades happening here. Pharah's going to conk out, jump jet up, lunge forward, and launch about 2 or 3 rockets here. And all hell's going to break loose in this one spot. In theory, this is a cheese to win first fight. Because it freaking sucks. There is not a better character at just putting a lot of damage in one tiny little spot. Just because this is where the brawl mirrors happen, that's potentially. Now the Symmetra is a different cheese, not cheese, but a different strategy. Because what it means is that you could take the teleporter and just get here really fast. And then instead of waiting for Stalker to get there on Sojourn or whatever, he's already there. He's there. So we have 5 people there faster versus 4 people who are there a little bit slower, but then they're going to have the Pharah rockets coming back in. Because even though they teleported out, the Pharah is not going to be there just yet.
So much of their success. And on the other side, it's actually a Pharah swap here for Hisang.
Hisang coming up over the top.
You see it? There it is.
Yesterday on the Paul, but
So do you see immediately the space that they get out of the Pharah swap, right? That they immediately get this space out. And there it is. Bam. Space. And oh, look at that. He's also on the angle. Man, that's so cool. It's such a weird strategy, right? It's like one of those things that like works once. Bye, I love you. Wow, that was it. Engage. What the frick? Lip messes up his slide or doesn't have his slide. What happens to Lip slide here? So Smurf sees, oh, Lip use slide on to peek there and says, guys, go, 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 go. Chio, come with me. Chio, come with me. And that's a big mistake there from Lip. This is an unlosable fight if that doesn't happen. What a javelin too, wow. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That should be it though, yeah, that's a shame. That's a shame. So really messy fight from both sides. Both sides basically just W King out. But crucially, the Pharah thing was great initially, but then is honestly fumbled really badly by Lip screwing that up. And there's the Tracer swap. Sad. The Pharah worked, man. The Pharah worked. The Pharah does have a hard time chasing kills, right? So like as that fight evolved or devolved, the Pharah like lost a lot of value, but man, that sucks. So let's talk a little bit about the compositional choices here. Tracer, more off-angle pressure. Obviously the Kiriko as well. You have a lot of off-angle pressure as well. Whereas this is going to be a little bit more static stuff with both the Symmetra and the Baptiste. You have a lot of frontline pressure with this support crew. However, you have a lot of flank pressure with this DPS and support crew. It does mean that there will be good high ground access. There'll be good dive access. There'll be point pressure from the Tracer. They'll make them drop, and then they'll be able to retake high ground and so on. So we'll see how they approach this. The key thing is how do they rotate to point without giving up total high ground control. There's the Tracer. It looks like Lucio rotated with the Tracer to allow some support on the Tracer, and Choron gets smoked because Proper is insane. It was a good play from Choron. He just didn't expect the Semdra, or didn't expect the Soj shot. Would you prefer Sojourn or Tracer? I think you need to have the Sojourn. I think Tracer Pharah kind of replaces the Tracer pick there. Because the big thing is you need that Sojourn rail threat and the Disruptor shot to also help you clear high ground. There's the rotation to point. Teleporter is used. Again, Tracer is forcing them to point, which allows them to take the high ground. So now they have superior positions. So what do you do with the superior positions? Well, you combo ultimates. For this to work, you have to Ajax the Lucio. Now, it's unlikely. Okay, maybe you don't have to Ajax the Lucio. But what's going to happen is you're going to have a lamp here, then beat, and then now basically Raccoon's just in a situation where they just need to survive. Ah, the beat is really late from Chio. The beat is really late. I don't think Proper gets that. That's a disaster for Falcons. Why does Chorong beat? Maybe it's for Junbin for the BAP window? Maybe a little bit of an early beat. But the trade overall is still pretty good. Lip doesn't even pop the Sojourn ult, but Symbol is used as well. Disastrous chain of events there for Falcons. The window is fine. The beat was late. And then the Symbol is also late. Disaster. Disaster.
This is an ideal situation for Crazy Racoon being able to get all those.
Can I define Ajax? Lucio dying mid-beat without going off.
Really washing away every edge that Falcons had because yes, they have the time advantage as you mentioned.
So Sojourn ult here. They have teleport to point for free. There's the pulse on the rotation. That's massive. That's going to force Javelin Spin. That's going to force slide and lamp and fortify. Like, even though lamp quote-unquote counters that, the follow-up there, everyone's still low. That's such a cheap fight one. The Sojourn ult was definitely, I wouldn't say unnecessary. It was definitely like necessary, but the only good thing for Falcons there is that it was a really clean fight win. So it was like they died like instantly, so that you can kind of come back in, and now Racoon doesn't have anything. So you probably honestly just do another teleport here. The key thing here.
Yo Spilo, what is Ajax? I hear
Lucio
that
dying
term a
mid-beat.
lot lately and I never know what anyone is talking about.
Lucio dying mid-beat, so he doesn't actually get the beat off. Now, watch Racoon, guys. Watch Racoon. Because we're looking at this, and they're just going to go. They're going to TP to point, and they're going to pop Sojourn ult and GG's. Right. However, Racoon has nothing. Racoon knows that they have nothing. So look at Racoon's setup here. They have Sojourn on high ground. Do you see the close hold here? I think Racoon's trying to do something chaotic here. I think they're trying to cheese something out. Yeah, you see this? They're going in. They're going in with the Sojourn. And there it is. They catch them off guard. You have the Tracer. You have the Kiriko. You could be so much more fluid with where you take fights. And then the Sojourn up top baiting their attention with Rail. Really nice little setup there from Falcons. Falcons needed to anticipate that one a little bit better, just given the fact that they were at an ult advantage. The only thing that Racoon can do there is do something chaotic. In fact, Racoon's going to do it again. And then now they go into this fight, and you actually can play quote-unquote slow, and you'll have Kitsune, you'll have Beat, you'll have Pulse again, you'll have Orisa ult. Like, now you could actually take an honest fight. Yeah, Ajax came from because Ajax was a Lucio player way back in like NA contenders that died mid-beat like 3 or 4 times in one match, and so they coined the phrase around him. Pretty unlikable guy as well, so it was a lot easier for people to coin a name after it because people just freaking hated Ajax. There's a teleport. I think they tried to TP onto, I don't know what they're teleporting onto. They're teleporting onto a Lucio is kind of silly. I guess they didn't see the Lucio because this is actually really bad. Like, getting booped off there means that you're totally exposed. Probably will force regenerative burst, maybe even lamp. Yep, there it is. It steps up the pulse bomb user. This is a mess. It's a mess. This is the weakness of your BAP comp, but overall Falcons are not getting smooth teleports. All of their teleports have been contested or ruined, and Racoon is just completely playing with their food. I mean, Ajax just doesn't play the game anymore. I don't think Ajax has played the game since like 2019. Yeah, no, Ajax. I don't think Ajax was like a bad person by any means. He was not a very popular person. And people will always be crueler to people they don't like. Yeah, Racoon had the game plan locked down there. Really, outside of the Pharah choke there, which was less on Heesing and not really the strategy, but the fight planning there, the ult trading, the layering, the setups, really, really nice. Okay, Kiriko Lucio, Tracer Sojourn, Tracer Echo, excuse me. Off angles, dive. This is like old school dive stuff. There's a lot more space here for dive to operate because of the high vertical ceilings of the BAP for like Echo to play around with, and these way more wide flanks, and crucially, so many megas to play with as Wrecking Ball. Cassidy here, shorter sightlines, so you prefer the Cassidy. And again, Falcons is gonna lean more into the static playstyle here, and we'll see how this matchup goes. There's the hit. Where's Heesing? Where is Heesing? Honestly, where is Heesing? I think Heesing's still flanking. I think Heesing is here. Really hard to see counting the pixels here. But Junman needs to be really careful. He gets out. He gets Suzu, he baits it, but yeah, Hinder plus all the crap, but he gets out. Now the next engage, there's going to have a Tracer angle. They're pushing back the Echo here. Now, I want you guys to notice what Falcons is doing. There's no passivity from the Falcons here. As soon as they force ball out, they know that the dive threat is significantly weaker, so they can't wait. They need to take the Lucio, they need to take the Cassidy, they need to go push out Heesang. They need to go push out Lip. They need to force Shu's teleporter or kill Showrong. Because what that means is by the time Junman gets back, everyone's dead. He's like, where are they? Or the cooldowns are forced, so they're out of position. Like, the key thing with Falcons is you never want these guys to be synced up. Never. Never, 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 never. You need to force this guy's flight earlier, or maybe force the ball out, or force Tracer's recall, or force Lucio amp, or force... You need to disrupt the dive early, and that comes from taking educated splits, supported splits. Don't put Cass by himself, put him with a Lucio. Don't put Baptiste by himself, have the Tracer mark the enemy Tracer. Like, this kind of stuff ruins dives. You see that? You see that? Now, if the lamp had been better there on time, this is literally just stickies and ball slam. There's no Lucio follow-up. There's no Kiriko follow-up. There's no Tracer follow-up. So what Proper is doing is okay. I'm just questioning where the support is. Like, there should have been support off of that. Whether the Lucio boop off of the ball slam, which I assume Chio just failed on, or a lamp or whatever. You have to be able to catch dives by poking them out early. That being said, Heesang, 6 stickies. 6 stickies. It was a good mechanical play from Heesang. And Fielder ends up going Kiriko, which means that you basically do the same thing, but that you, oh my gosh. You basically do the same thing, but you do Suzu instead of Lamp, and Fielder is now himself not really a target. It's hard, or easier to support your Cassidy with Baptiste, but actually I don't even know. You have more to offer your Cassidy, but you also have to play kind of selfishly, whereas Kiriko can play pretty selflessly, right? But oh my days. What? His mouse died? Yeah, I was gonna wonder, like, why is he there?
You gotta keep this guy alive, and now when he's at least able to find one isolated target,
Are you joking?
He is gonna come up big and hit those shots. See if he can continue to push this advantage.
Mouse issues, you think? Okay, so maybe you guys are being serious. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Do you think Falcons would be better if they got a really strong hit scan player so that Proper could play Tracer Flex? I don't know. It's a good question. I've heard that question a few times before, but I'm honestly not too sure. I don't know what Proper's hit scan level is like nowadays. I mean, on Sojourn, clearly he was S tier, but like, at least back in the day, but on like raw cast, it's hard to know. Like, his cast is clearly very good. Is it as good as somebody like a Lip? I don't know. And if the question is not whether Proper has a good hit scan, he definitely has a good or even great hit scan. The question is it on par with the competitors, you know? Oh, I need to update the stream title. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Falcons versus Raccoon. Okay. All right. Mark off angles. Do not let the ball Echo Tracer engage for free. This is going to be basically the Cassidy side because it's more open. The bad thing about like these anti-dive comps is that sometimes they struggle with old economy. Like, you look at like the Orisa, you look at like the High Noon isn't too bad nowadays since the damage reduction, but it can be challenging to get consistent fight wins when you're competing with things like Copy. They're going to Orisa Copy, and just basically what they're doing here is they're just choking Falcons out. Like, we could draw a circle around most of the Falcons right now. I don't like Fielder's attention here. I think that needs to be more the Lucio's attention. I would prefer Fielder to be more proactive on an angle here or helping Smurf. Really, Fielder should not be looking at ball. That's not his job.
Fix that greater than in title. It's killing me.
Okay. See, this is what I get. I get a free buck out of Maddie. Thank you. There's the Copy. They choke out Stalker. Stalker has no space. GG's. Suzu's also used. Yeah, Raccoon's doing such a good job choking these guys out of space. Like, taking off angles, applying pressure on main. Beat is used. Orisa ult. Katsunia's rush is used. Heesang gets caught, though. There's a nice beat in response from Chio. And this is still winnable. Oh, good minds. Really good minds. It's all about the space, man. Like, it just puts people in such isolated... Oh, my gosh. 2 huge shots. Heesang actually goes Genji, which is interesting. I think Genji's a lot worse on this map. I think that the idea there is that like the Arista Cassidy Genji is going to feel a little bit better, which I can agree with. But man, Proper is hitting the shots, boys. Like it is hitting the shots, and also Falcon's ult layering there was really good. Like they were sustaining so long and just giving Proper time. Lots in the tank changes. TLDR is cautiously optimistic. This is OWCS. This was last week. Again, there's the deflect early. There's the grapple. Shoot, shoot, shoot. He needs to be taking a deeper angle here, I think. As soon as he sees balls slide, and I would have liked him to rotate even further right. And what's interesting to note here, chat, is I think Chio is less about +1ing the Lucio, or the Cassidy. It looks more like Chio is kind of following the ball around. Like, he's like trying to be there. Like, you see where he's at right now? Right there. Right, that boop right there. Like, I cannot emphasize how impressive that is. I cannot emphasize how impressive it. All the director's takes. Okay, you know what? I'll screw it. I'll be I'm trying to think of the phrase. Yeah, I'll just do this, slap this on the replies. Yeah. Anyway, if you want my full thoughts, go back and watch the video. VOD. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, let's talk about this like one more time. Look at this ball rollout. He's going to grapple right here. He's going to roll all the way around. Chio not is only there, but Chio anticipates this. Watch this, guys. Chio right here. Bam. Booped. Totally ruins the engage. And you notice why that's important. Because look at the posturing from Racoon. They're ready to go now. They're ready to follow up on the dive. The boop comes in. Deflect is forced. Hinder is out. They back up. And ball goes in. They completely ruined the timing of that dive.
Before that blade's ready. Here it comes. Deadeye defensively.
Dylan locks.
So he's just kind of stuck here in the corner. Taken down below half HP.
Yeah, so this is a little bit not a great soldier map. Soldier would be just as fragile to dive as Cassidy because running does not keep you safe versus these targets. Okay, let's take a look here. They have isolated point though because Smurf had to use Fortify in that anti-dive. He's gonna try and use ultimate, but the pulse bomb there, and he's not. The Suzu is not there in time. Crucially, this just comes down to a great boop from Chio, but the Racoon is still in it. There's the beat. They need to find another kill. This happened last time. They're able to sustain lip. After that, there's the beat instead. Again. Oh, this is going to be so unfortunate. They need to get the Cassidy. They need to get the Cassidy. There's the blade. There's the blade. They get it. Where the frick did the Arista go? Okay, blade is successful. Zoning done. You get your kill. Yeah, big ball boop that time. Are these players higher than Diamond? No, they're all high plat 2, I think. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, nice job. Honestly, really, really well played by Racoon. Really, really well played. The staging, the timing on a lot of these things was done well. I think the peel was there for the most part, but I think that there was just like, I don't know, like if you're playing Orisa, you have to be able to anchor point, but like it just didn't feel like they were able to get anything at, like they were not even able to consistently anchor point. The ult, and again, like the ult trades, like they had like one bad ult trade and it just goes to crap, you know? But yeah, the ball was good. I mean, Jumpman was freaking pounding on the ball, so like it was good. Also, I actually think that like there's a real world where like what Racoon was running is like an actually like pretty good comp for the map. It's just not something that we're used to seeing like teams actually play on. You know what I'm saying? So there's a chance that this isn't just like, oh, a corny thing that Falcons couldn't like adjust to. It might just be the better comp for the map. It's just that, you know, too many teams just don't have the guts to like pull it out, you know? I mean, Proper played that one pretty well. I think Fielder did not have as good of a map. I don't think Fielder's like playstyle works as well with that. Like the kind of standing back and just supporting. I think you need to be a little bit more proactive with your stuff. You need more pressure on Tracer. You need more pressure on Genji. I think Chio played fairly well from what little we saw, but I don't think Fielder was like proactive enough with controlling space. Like you can't like just sit back and peel that off. And I also feel like that there was not enough trading from the backline of Falcons, although you're very hard to do that with Orisa. It's like, yeah. Lucio versus Ball is a pure skill check. Pure skill check. I think it's a pretty even thing. Ball has an advantage the bigger the map is because there's more engages he can take that avoid your ability to boop, but it's a pretty much a skill check. Did Jonathan ever give overhealth to his teammates? It doesn't look like it. But again, I'm impossible to say. Snooze. All right, defensively, Widow, Stalker. It's a good echo point. It's kind of fun to not see Tracer. But yeah, Bat Break, defensive, spam comp, anti-dive, playing. These are just basically playing strong characters and they're just throwing Orisa in the mix because Orisa's anti-dive insurance, kind of, sort of, and mostly just self-sufficient. So we will probably see a mirror, and they're going to throw in the Tracer as well. Because you could put pressure on the enemy Widow. Well, I'm saying, like, it's fun to see no Tracer for one team. Yeah, we talked about all... You know what? Here's what I should do. Director take. Do this. Commands, add.
Rushing forward. Megapack can try to play around, but also is a little bit reinforced.
He's saying he's in deep. Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
Great shot there. Knows the recall placement where he would end up. Knows that timing really well, and he's not going to miss.
Lips smoking the bong. Oh, that's such a fast response there from Stalker. It's all about like fighting for off-angle control, like setting up better sightlines, and using your Echo and Tracer to kind of like jockey for positions. I actually think Heesing needs to do what he did last time, but just do it again. The key thing to point out here is that if the threat of Tracer forces your backline to do this, then this means that you should be able to leverage cart forward, right? You should be able to leverage cart. You should be able to double back and leverage cart forward because the Widowmaker is so far back, she actually is not controlling any space whatsoever. So, it's just something that you have to recognize.
The second corner.
Yeah, you're going to have to really push out and actually win a fight if you want to push that around the corner.
Oh, that's not good. You need to block those stickies.
Every single sticky bomb connecting onto him. Stalker trying to push forward, but Lip is just going to, I believe,
good catch.
Go ahead and get a
Proper should be rotated on. He knows he's coming. Proper might be dead here, actually. Oh no, he gets packed. Still space. Like you have, if you're Racoon, like you have to be winning this tank trade, or at least this fight for high ground right now. Like you have to. To me, this is where like the Widow's kind of rough because you need something to contest the Widow. But if like you don't really win, like you have like think about it this way. They killed Stalker. Stalker's been dead since like 1944, okay? And yet nothing's happened because what is Lip going to do now that Stalker proper's dead? Like what sightline can Lip do to shoot tank? There just isn't a good sightline. So I do agree that like, the Widowmaker is good here, but it's super clunky with pushing advantage. It's like so clunky. Like there's no aggressive sightline that Lip can take now that they're dead to do more damage to the tank or to open. They're just kind of like meh. And the Ana for me is mostly just about you don't really want the extra sustain, so you're just basically trying to make plays with Sleep Dart and Nade, I think. We've seen this sometimes, just like when you don't really need to sustain on the support, but yeah, this is like, they have a man advantage and they've done nothing with it. Like, they've done actually nothing with it. Bap winner there from Fielder as well. It's going to zone stuff out as well. But yeah, I agree. This could be pretty snoozer to watch.
Team Falcons will be able to secure this corner once again. Terra Surge is almost ready. If you build Terra Surge before the corner is past...
The only thing I think you could do is you could theoretically brute force this left side here with packs. Send people upstairs. But yeah, it's just especially boring in the Orisa mirror because Orisa does such a good job shutting down other squishies from taking space. There's the Fortify. Sleep Dart's tried, not done. Fortify for Fortify. Now what the frick do we do? Now we nano because the Orisa doesn't have... There's the ult. That might kill Brig. It does not. They respond with the... It's just like... It's an endless defensive cooldown trade, but because neither tanks have mobility, it just... Nothing really good happens about it. The only difference in this fight is that there's 2 Orisas versus 1 Orisa because Heesang has not been in a position to actually use his pulse bomb. I really, really think this is going to come down to, like, they needed, during all this mess, they needed to find a way to get Heesang set up on backline. And if Heesang was set up on backline, then I don't know why they were not able to win that trade more than they were. That is one thing about the Baptiste, is the Baptiste does do better versus the all-out Orisa rush. Because Sleep Dart and Nade are not going to help you versus that. Lamp will, Shift will, and just even raw damage there. Heesang definitely tried, yeah. And you're seeing why a lot of these teams, like, why you don't even need to necessarily run the defensive Tracer. If you're Orisa, Bat, Brig, whatever, can just check the Tracer from taking any angles on this point, then yeah, I mean.
Sets up for the next poison trap, dash across. Dublin will go wide, but you actually gonna be able to find Stalker.
I'm not sure what happened there with Stalker. It looks like he's up above them on the top left, maybe using the sights and going for an assassination, but he just gets sniped without packs. It might be that Chia was distracted. I think that's what happened, is we finally got Heesang set up. Stalker tries to make a play. Chia is too busy worrying about helping backline here versus the Heesang flank, and so Stalker gets no help. That's what I think.
Dumps that second amp matrix up onto the high ground. Pulse bomb thrown down. Nothing really found there for Heesang. Is jump up over the top. Look at the try.
There's the Ego Bap duel, and Shu wins it. I think he gets armor pack as well, so it's a little bit unfair. Heesang gets killed again, man. Heesang is like struggling. I don't know why he pulse bombs tank there. He just needs to live on backline. I think maybe his angle was bad, but yeah, I think no. I think he actually went for the pulse bomb of Brig, and then it went off the side. That's my prediction. I don't think he was even aiming for the Orisa. He gets cleared out by Chio, and then he just gets dueled by Chio. He just gets dueled by Chio. Heesang just gets smoked. Oh my gosh. Oh, there we go.
Takes his head off. Back and forth there, but still the card held in position with 3 seconds remaining. Crazy Racoon.
Oh gosh.
This one, they have quite a bit of distance of cover, and Max
now
gets taken down. Push back up over the top, now dropping down onto the card itself. Overtime starting. They
have nothing, man. Like even a Rissole here. Okay, that's a big pick. Like somebody had to die. If they're gonna touch, they will. Does he have a cooldown? He does not. He has window though. It doesn't matter. Snooze test. Snooze fest. Snooze fest.
They say, well, okay, well, we just have to mirror it. So we end up just seeing the substitutions, and then they just...
It's just that when Orisa is the best tank in spam, it gets really dull because Orisa Gate keeps a lot of proactive angles because she just lives, man, and she just lives. Do you think they should have swapped off of Widow? I don't know. It's too easy. It's too easy to say yes, but what would you swap to? Sojourn, but I don't like the tough thing with this first point is there's not a lot of angles that you can take that you can't be contested by what. Maybe you could play something like a Sojourn and really put emphasis on getting Heesang set up on the flank so that you can focus your Sojourn on just taking an off angle and pressuring like Orisa. Maybe you could do like a Sojourn Cass, you know, and find some way to make sure that your Tracer gets on backline so that you guys have like better tank pressure. Because it did feel like, oh, hey, Widow's dead. And your Widow does nothing to help you push. I mean, it literally would have been better for when the Widow was dead or when the Echo was dead. It literally would have been better for Lip to just SMG the enemy Orisa on an off angle. But yeah, the attack Widow has like such a massive disadvantage here. It's like, it's rough. SSG can beat Crazy Racoon? No. No. Not likely. It's not impossible. It's just unlikely.
At the end of the day, he's going to be sticking with what's good in these narrow choke points here on a cart already halfway to where it needs to be here for the Falcons to tie.
Same mirror again. Tracer again to try and remove the Widow, defensive Widow disadvantage.
From Stalker in the previous attack.
Yeah, it's hard for me to say what On says about the Widows. I would look more at the Widow POVs, but I didn't get a chance to like record them. Maybe OBS Sojourn will have some POVs of the Widows here, but it's almost impossible to say. Now, does Falcons have a game plan to break this choke? A rotation? They get the Tracer set up. They get the Tracer set up. You know, and I think this is a mistake. Maybe there has to be a trade-off here. This is so risky. Okay, maybe we'll look at it some other time. This is so risky though. Like there's no like you know where Chorong would have been here. Or Chio. Chio was here. Not here. So you're letting the Tracer just get the angle for free? I mean, I hope Chorong is doing something on the high ground here.
Let's try to pick somebody off. Stalker in the meantime just lingering around behind. Lip hearing this, very well aware.
They got the traded fielder. Maybe he's supporting. He must be supporting Heesang and letting Heesang go super aggressive. And Lip is still alive. Like what is going on? Am I missing something? Did he just fall off? Where is Stalker? Did he just fall off? Did he lose him? He must have just faked him out. Yeah, he must have just juked him. That's actually insane. You always prioritize high ground. You never drop until you fully check your corners because you can always drop. You can't go back to high ground. That's a huge mistake there and a hilarious play from Lip. That's actually it. Like, that's actually insane. He is stalking. I guess so.
So see what Stalker decides to do here is proper playing the long con game here on this wide flank. Is just not exposing themselves.
So let's talk about this setup here.
This wide flank.
Bap Orisa. Again, the Brigitte is really kind of controlling high ground with the Orisa and just putting a little bit of pressure on backline. And then this position allows her to really like pocket the Echo like wherever the Echo wants to go. Baptiste is playing here to support the Orisa, shoot the Orisa without ever being picked by Widow. Now what this means is that they have a pretty clear avenue to set up their Tracer through here without being checked out. This is just bit rate. This is the bit rate of this thing is super bad, right? Yeah, this is the YouTube video. So, right, yeah, you could transition high ground and so on. But yeah, basically what this means is that you have a free Tracer stage. But this also means that there's a lot more pressure on backline here because instead of the Brig being back here, you have the Brig right here. So there's a lot more pressure on backline, but you give up the free lane. That's kind of the way to look at it.
Is just not exposing themselves to him. They know where he is.
Now, why does Tracer get forced out? Oh, he's saying drop bombs him. Blam. Recall is used. That's a good play by Heesing.
And this moment in time, slowing down this push.
They force the rotation, Falcons do. Oh, what a pulse bomb, and then what a lamp. Wow. Falcons brute forces the rotation. Oh my gosh. And then with the lamp advantage. So they've used lamp on pulse bomb. He lamps, he windows, he egos, and lasers. Rally is used. They don't have rally in response. Max also uses ultimate. He's saying copies Widow? Well,
my goodness.
What a
Swings
huge
out of the corner, looks
play.
for a little bit more. That is monstrous. Something.
what? Dude, what? Dude, there's no way this guy goes in for a dive bomb on proper. SMG's popper. So he copies Widow to secure the kill on proper because he almost dies.
Oh, trying to survive the rally. Keeping him in this one.
Chio doesn't have rally yet.
Seasung actually goes for the dupe on the Widowmaker and is able to find Chio. Is able to find Stalker. My goodness.
That's insane.
The corner looks for a little bit more.
That's such a big play, man. That is actually unreal.
The dupe on the Widow, but now Max is gonna be taken down because the fight.
Choke! Choker watch! Choker watch! No! Dude, choker watch for both of them! Oh my gosh, that was actually so bad. Choker watch. Look at this.
The dupe on the Widow, but now Max is gonna be
Clam, clam. Look at this strafing. And then look at Fielder.
coming through. Fielder trying to.
Just misses an entire 2 clips.
He will be able to do it in the
Alright.
with the help of
That's a big play. This is still winnable here.
Happy fight. Shoe on the card.
The sights and rally probably books it, but yeah, that's a big play.
to get in on top, and now the cart is just
Yeah,
able
that's
to
it.
inch his way into.
Snore Overwatch, and yeah, that is what it is. It was fun. There was some fun highlights there. I just felt like the teams were really struggling getting their tracers. The attacking teams were really struggling getting their tracer stage, like consistently having a terrible time. Yeah, there's a lot of times where just tracer just was like a total, like, or almost entirely ornamental. Like literally the most important thing that happened in the entire map was a tracer pulse bomb that forced the lamp that then allowed Fielder to win the BAP 1v1. That was like the most important relevant thing that tracer did. The entire thing was force a lamp. So yeah. Okay, I'm gonna tinkle really fast. I'll be right back. Yeah. What is your most talented DPS of all time in your opinion? Probably Lip. Lip is the pedigree. Proper has the peaks. But like the best DPS of all time, I feel like has to be probably Lip. Yes, man said King, not Kinkle, Tinkle. Probably Lip. Proper's definitely in that conversation as well. Kevster's, I think probably the GOAT Western DPS, European or American, but I don't think Proper's necessarily even in the top 3 or 4. Prophet, yeah, Prophet, I think, Lip, Proper, all above Kevster, certainly. Striker, less so. Striker's been around for a while, but I think Striker's basically had a couple of really good peaks, but has not been quite as good. Like even San Francisco's Shock, Proper was still great. Fleta, maybe, yeah, Fleta. Merit is in the conversation, but I would say not until we started to consider top 10. Where do I rank MVP Sinatra among them? It's hard to say. There's so many good players in Shock that season. Sinatra was definitely one of them, but You know, I think that you could have given MVP to a lot of players in Shock this season. I think you could have given MVP to Choi. Maybe Choi would have been a stretch, but Choi certainly was on the table. I think Super could have been on that table. Was it Violet, the Zen? I think Sinatra certainly deserved it, but I think it's hard to say. Okay.
Even though they're not going to have the immortality to keep him alive.
Probably Tracer this map for both teams. Yep. Sojourn, more space, rail advantage. Like, really at this point in time, I've talked about the Sojourn Cassidy a million times. Cassidy has better neutral pressure. Sojourn has better neutral pressure, but only when she has rail. So, and then Sojourn has the better ultimate, but I think teams have gotten a lot better about being creative even with their high noon. So the disadvantages of running the high noon has been kind of compensated by teams finding ways to make it work, even for zoning value. So I think Cassidy, really, really good. When the sightlines are more short to mid, longer range stuff, Sojourn's probably going to feel a little bit better. Is Sinatra close to Lipper proper? I mean, not even close. No, I mean, you can't have one good season and then go out with the allegations like he did. And can, I mean, there's just no way. It's a really apples to oranges because Sinatra was also playing Zarya. He was pretty mid DPS. Maybe not a mid DPS, but certainly not a standout.
He's already up here. Yep. And look at that.
Perched like a cat.
Yeah, it's apples to oranges. Angle here from the Sojourn is good. The shooting out from the proper is also good. Oh, that's what Cassidy does. You know what I'm saying? Like that. We've seen proper Cassidy. We've seen lip Cassidy. It is a treat. And then I say that, and look at the rail. Blam! Right there. There's your Sojourn right there. 230, 238. Blam! Headshot right there with a rail. 45 HP. There's Suzu, I think. And that's it. So we're just demonstrated with the strengths and the weaknesses of Cassidy all in the space of about 2 seconds.
Keeps him at bay. Smurf will fall. So opening lockdown of the point there for the Crazy Racoon. Now going to be ticking up and also.
I think Pine is overrated. I think Pine was always a solid hit scan character, but Pine's raw aim was good, but not like in leagues above everybody else, and I don't think he was as strategic or smart. I think Pine is a budget ons, is the way I look at it.
To get some additional percentage out of that. Torong only a little bit ahead on that sound bear, but again, it's positional advantage here for
He's a budget ons, basically, is the way I look at it.
Long sight lines. See if anyone can put him down because.
Yeah, proper goes Sojourn on retake here. Too much space, maybe for Cassidy working. You might see Cassidy depending on the point swap, but we'll have to wait and see. Depends on the ults. A lot of angling here, a lot of really cautious stuff. Like, you have to be so careful with both of these Sojourns having this good of an angle. It's really just trying to, like, the Rissa Jundman trying to not get his 4 to 5 forced. There's Kiriko. There's Kiriko. The good news, though, is that Falcons is able to get a lot of space out of the Kitsune Rush. So even though both teams mirror Kitsune Rush, Smurf is able to get in with it. And so this chokes out a lot of people, and if he can live that there, he can. This is going to reduce the amount of space control that Raccoon has. The question is are they going to be able to layer in response? And the answer is yes. The big difference here, is that there just isn't enough punish onto Jundman. That's the only difference. And Lip also has the Sojourn ult to combine. Oh! Sojourn. Base of the TLDR is that push by Smurf was very, very aggressive, but it did work. Oh no, that disruptor shot is tragic. That needed to hit. Oh, okay, it does. Okay, that actually might matter though. That's gonna make this fight is still losable. He might need to pop ult here. This fight still might be lost. Yeah, he lets it rip. Oh, this guy's so good, man. Like even the body shots, like, he just doesn't miss.
I'm not entirely sure Proper really needed to pop the overclock there because without it here, it will be tougher to fight neutral. Not going to get that kill there, but almost able to get one more on.
Nice Song Grace.
Yeah. Now,
of course. Thank you for stopping by.
They have the Terra Surge. They weren't forced to use that in the last fight.
Base of the TLDR of that fight is really, really, really messy stuff. Smurf is able to buy enough space with his corpse through the ult trading. By the way, nice layering from both teams, right? Kitsune for Kitsune. Orisa, then Beat, Sojourn. It was good layering, like taking turns using ultimates. The problem is that Proper just ended up on a really good angle and hit a couple of really good shots, right? Whereas Lip's angle was just not quite as good, and then Lip also with a huge shot from Fielder get put out of commission. No, I don't think Proper over-ulted. I think Proper had to use ultimate, otherwise they would lose that fight. A little bit of an early push there by Smurf. He definitely doesn't get the people that he wants. You see, ironically here, him pulling Junbin in is actually nice. Check this out. So Junbin goes in. Javelin spins in. Smurf goes, oh, frick, I could trade backline now. Junbin says, oh, well, no, I don't want to go in there if you're going to zone my backline. So Junbin actually goes backwards and gets pulled in by the Orisa ultimate. Watch. So that Junbin is scared of what's behind him, not of the Orisa ultimate. So he actually gets sucked to safety by the Orisa ultimate, and they easily kite it out. I actually think that they tried to pulse. I don't know what they tried to pulse there. Sewer Plus, thank you for the sub. Watch your phone. Nice, dude. Nice, dude. I appreciate the sub, man. I was glad to help. Oh, wow, that was good. That shouldn't have happened, though. What happens here? Yeah, the Suzu's just late, and or Lip just kind of trolls. Oh, Lip gets... Oh, my gosh. Proper pushes there. That was quite the combo there. Lip gets smoked by a proper angle plus a harpoon. Javelin. I will say, that is one nice thing about the Orisa. Like, the tank... Orisa mirrors are boring, but the Javelin Spear skill shot is still fun. Shut up, Matt. They need one more kill. They need one more kill. They need one more kill because they've got somebody on point to worry about. They didn't get the kill. This is still losable. This is still losable. They need the 97 touch. They get the 97 touch. There's the oh, no, he didn't get the 97 touch, and he's saying dies for it. That's not good. Has this been more entertaining than NA Finals? First map was more was very entertaining. Second map was not entertaining. There was a moment. Actually, that's not true. NA Final, EMEA Final. Actually, I didn't watch the NA Finals, to be fair. I watched the EMEA Finals. I think EMEA Finals was pretty good. Okay, so ult thing here, we're going to see Kitsune for Kitsune. Really, Raccoon does not want to take this fight just yet because they don't have the layering. So basically what will happen is Kitsune for Kitsune, and then like the Stalker will pulse bomb, or they'll have a beat in response, and Raccoon will not have it. So Raccoon really needs their Orisa, they need their pulse bomb, or they need their beat before they take this engagement. So it's gonna be a lot of like really cautious poking and prodding, looking for opportunities. There's a Kitsune for Kitsune. There's the beat. Chorong. Yeah, see, dude, like, do you see the margin of error here? Falcons is focusing Chorong. Look at this. So Chorong is inside here. And you see them spinning in? They are on Chorong's butt. They are on him. This was something that I think teams started to get really, really good at. I want to say stage 4 of like season 2023. Teams would purposely try to kill the Lucio with beat. They were really good at focusing. Like, this isn't like a new strategy, but teams got a lot better at this strategy, I think. And they almost get him. You see that? They almost get him. I think they even tried to pulse him. Chorong might have gotten Suzu'd there. I'm not really sure, but he managed to just barely get it off. And now Falcons may be in trouble. Oh my gosh, that Javelin. Ah! Dude, Proper is just insane, man. No! No, my gosh. Oh my gosh, guys. This is just insane. And now that was probably closer than it needed to be because I think Chorong, or was it Chorong? Yeah, Chorong pieced out the cap point. That was pretty egotistical, I'm not gonna lie. That could have been lost there, but yeah, that's insane. That's insane. Yeah, they had no business winning that fight. They actually had no business winning that fight. Falcons did not. Just because Raccoon was able to get that beat off, and the Javelin's disgusting. But man, Chorong was just like piecing out and like this is almost lost. That's just insane. Anyway, okay. There's the proper swap to Cassidy. Like I said, it is something that we might see occasionally. This point is pretty good for Cassidy. It's a little bit more narrow around the point. So there's a lot of neutral pressure. Now, there's a lot of early pressure here. So the Sojourn is going into this fight with a wee bit of rail, which is definitely helpful. There's the push. They're going in. Why are they going in? I don't like that is a ballsy move. Okay, so let's talk about why this is ballsy. So first things first. You're on point. You have your corner. You have a sight lane for your Sojourn, and you have Sojourn ultimate. They have Orisa ultimate. Now, I know Cassie doesn't have slide. So that's the big thing, is that Cassie's maybe better in the short to medium range in terms of raw damage, but he is fragile. He is a little bit more fragile. I know that sounds weird, but roll isn't slide. So you can't just push, so it's just going to slide away. Cassie's roll is not quite as good. That being said, this is pretty crazy. So they go in, they javelin spin in, they fortify in, they blow everything. Thankfully, he gets javelin before he slides. And I don't really know why Lip pushes there. Yeah, proper. What a boot from Chorong. But this is like this is risky from Racoon. I'm not gonna lie. And it's also risky. It was a good Suzu, but it's risky they didn't just die to Smurf spin as well. How does Fielder die? I don't know. That seems like honestly a bit of a goof there from Falcon's backline. I'm not gonna lie, because this. Oh jeez. Because that was. That was ballsy. Falcon should have been able to catch that with a Suzu and a Lucio boop and been fine. And then honestly just straight up killed. Lip coming into this fight again with a little bit of rail. No real serious ults to speak of here besides the pulse bomb trades. They get the touch with Stalker. Stalker's off. The Smurf touches. Javelin spin. Fortify will be next. There it is. Fortify is used. There's recall forced. There's the Suzu, a lot of cooldowns training here. There's the laters, there's the Kitsune. They don't have the response, and that's basically it. Racoon just basically stalls until they get the Kitsune, and because they got their Kitsune like 1 second sooner than Fielder, that's all. It's also tough for Smurf, because Smurf has to basically walk onto point to stall, and it means you're just going to get your 4 to 5 force sooner. Well, let's see post on YouTube. Yeah. That's the plan. Ult bank, though. Falcons should win this one. Proper goes back to Sojourn. I think Sojourn's better on this point, and I guess Proper's just going, hey, High Noon's not that valuable of an ultimate. I would rather just take the Sojourn ult. I probably would have preferred to stay with a High Noon, even though this is not the best thing, even though you can get Javelin out of it, but hey. Is Stalker Tracer much better than Proper's? I would not say much better, but I do think Stalker Tracer is better from what we've seen. There's a Orisa speed, a little bit of a flank they had setting up there, and I guess now it's kind of awkward for Racoon, because if you look at the ult bank for Racoon, really, these ultimates are, they need to build the Sojourn ult, because this is like a pretty open, pokey thing here, and the Kitsune on point should just pretty much win that for it. Now my question is where did Falcon's backline go? They should try to stay high here. It's like they rotate her on left side, then Kitsune. But this actually just gives like the freest angle in the world to Lip. Although somebody just freaking dies. Shu just dies. Where's Shu? Shu just dies. Something's goofed up there. That was like a 1 clip or something. Or he took some chip damage and he wasn't ready. That's a mistake from Shu. But yeah, Kitsune Rush should be enough to win it. Even if the setup isn't perfect. Yeah, should be it. Yes, this is prior to the nerfs. Proper, careful, Proper. They go in with, okay, so this is the layering that we're talking about here. I think we're going to see a similar trying to force beat situation. Falcons wants to go in. They have beat, they have a result. Now you're like, oh, they have it too. Yeah, but Falcons thinks that they can force the issue by looking for a way to focus Chorong. I think they're going to be looking for Chorong here. Get ready. He might not even use rail. He might save rail. This is it right here. This is it right here. They don't get it. They don't get it. They're looking for Lucio. These teams are so horny for the Lucio. They don't get it. They don't get it. It might be that this is getting consistently Suzu'd by Shu as well. But yeah, Crazy Racoon just catches the engage. Pushing like that when you have point control is always risky. Always risky. It's not a bad risk, it's just a calculated risk, and Falcons had more confidence in their ability to like set play that than they did in the point control. So they end up losing that fight when they could have done it the smarter play and just hold angles on point. Yeah, they are really hunting for these elusive kills. Really hunting for them. Okay, Sojourn ult for Sojourn ult. Defender's advantage should be a slight advantage for Racoon here. Seems too risky. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that, like, it's a set play. I guarantee that Falcons does a lot in scrimmages that they have kind of down to a T, where they, like, build rail, and then in these messy ult fights, they just use an ult first and try to focus on the Lucio. But if it fails, they're the ones that have pushed into the choke of the enemy team instead of, like, letting them come into their choke, and so then now they're at a massive disadvantage. And so if Shu is consistently hitting those Suzus, then they're going to be in a bad spot. And so I want to give credit to both Chorong and Shu there, but without the play itself, it's not a bad idea from Falcons. It's just a higher risk. There's the lip ult. There's the proper ult. It just looks a little bit like maybe Smurf Mefsus is up his tank ult trade, but like basically both tanks use the same cooldowns. But Junman is able to get into Proper's face, and Smurf's not able to get into Lip's face. So I think there must have been just something goofy there with either the Lucio boops or the javelin spins or something. Why is nobody playing the high ground? Oh, I missed that question.
Is going to be here faster than fielders, but they should be rush.
It's a good question, actually.
Shoes rush. Is going to be here faster than fielders, but they should.
It's a good question, actually. It really is a good question. It might be that. I'm trying to think. So you'd play here with your Sojin Kiri, and you could poke on the enemy Orisa there. I don't know. It might be something to do with where the enemy soldier, there's like a sight line from the enemy backline can play too safe and poke you out on high. It might be that it's just as simple as the enemy backline here doesn't actually have to walk on the point. They can poke out the high ground first. It might also be that if you are high ground, that they rotate and clear you off of high ground. The drop in point is too easy, although I'm not 100% certain I buy that. It might get poked out. I'm not sure. They might not have had time to set up. Yeah, I'm not sure. You have good cover up top left in theory, though. I don't love it. I'm going to assume that there's a reason for it, but yeah, it's a good question. I don't think they get. Oh, they do get touch here. Okay. Smurf goes for the Winston for touch. Kitsune Rush is used as well. Pulse Bomb misses. Smurf has to leave. He'll have bubble again soon, though. Lip is low. Proper does not have slide and a javelin from Junben. Kitsune for Kitsune. Oh, Chio. That's a match loser mistake right there. That's a match loser mistake right here. Is to commit that when you're down one. And then to have your Winston die as you're casting it. Yeah, this is pretty risk and nerf. So they're going to stay Winston here. Interesting. He does have some primal, and like, Winston can function here. The big thing here is that the ult bank's empty. Like, the ult bank is, maybe that's why they're running the Winston, is the ult bank is empty. Orisa ult his own backline. It does the job. He still has Fortify, and Lip just hits the shot. Wow. I mean, yeah, Lip dies for it. Yeah, but yeah, it's fine. Orisa ult his own backline, and just again another great shot from Lip.
Build that sound barrier. He built half of it on this push, and the next push he should be able to have it.
Okay, I think the Winston may just be, it can function, and that Smurf is, like, after that wasted beat, they just don't have the ults to, this is last point, they have to win this. Lip pops early Sojourn ult here. They're on the flank, guys. They're on the flank. Failed, but Primal is used. Ooh. Zoning backline, can they get fortified? They do. They also get beat, but they still don't have anything in response. They still don't have anything in response. Like, so maybe that primal there from Smurf was unnecessary. He was a little low. Maybe he was nervous about rail there. But basically all this primal's used is to force beat, but he doesn't even have the HP to sustain afterwards. Like, this is actually not the end of the world for Falcons if the Primal lasts an extra second or two there. That's actually so unfortunate. Big shot there. That's going to prevent them from being able to push here. Or it should be. Junman needs to be scared. I don't even think the Primal really force beat. That is true. It does feel like they just beat it and just ran in. Kitsune for Kitsune. And this is the fight that Falcons have to win. You're Kitsune for Kitsune. You're back in the neutral. There's the Fortify used early. Man, the Fortify early from Junman. Check this out. Javelin Spin Fortify early. He is totally trusting this Kitsune rush. Then there's Javelin Spin. Beat is used. There's the ultimate. And then now he's Fortify again. I know this isn't fancy because it's Orisa, and Orisa's boring. But that is pretty decent cooldown cycling there. Check this out again.
They definitely have an opportunity here to buy enough space with this swap over the Orisa.
Javelin for Javelin Spin. Forces them back. Shoves them into the locker. Fortify as well. More shoving into the locker. More pressure on proper. Suzu's forced. Just from the double tank ults. Or the double tank cooldowns. Then the Fortify is going. Junman's going in. Smurf is going in. Javelin Spin is available. Then ult. He doesn't have Fortify yet. Then ult. Then Fortify. This backline has been completely MIA this entire fight. The difference between Junman and Smurf is that Junman had ultimate to chain better. Smurf did not. It is boring to look at. Yes, I agree. And so it's just good play by Junman, man. It's good play by Junman. Really tough for Falcons to win that fight. But I will say, when does this beat come in here? I want to know why Smurf was crit. It's hard to know why Smurf was crit and Junman was not. That's the real question, because why did that beat get forced so early?
Trade those now. Gio will have barrier too. They have to Kitsune rush. They get onto the point. They're going to trade those now. Gio will have barrier too.
It's hard to say. Hard to say. Maybe the early Fortify, yeah. Hard to say. Well learned by Racoon.
Ready. It was kind of like final fight territory.
Yeah, it might have been a lip rail, like right as the Fortify ended. It's hard to say. Okay, let's skip forward a little bit. Alright, praying for no more Orisa. Come on, y'all.
From the room next to the point.
Cowards. How am I liberal? Wait. Am I liberal? Hello, India Max. Cassidy Bat Brig. Now, again, we talked a lot about the Bat Brig with the EMEA finals, and a lot of it is just basically when you're not looking to push as much or kite as much, and looking to more like hold static poke angles, the Brigitte can allow you to fortify those angles, like pocket your DPS more, and then also pocket your Cracer, and also pocket your Baptiste and so on. So I think if we're going to go like full poke, like this seems okay. My question is Sigma that bad? It might just be that Sigma's too bad on these very high ground oriented maps. That's my impression. Because Sigma, I swear, would be better in first point here. But maybe just Sigma's bad in second point. You know, like there's just too much verticality, and even like the minimal verticality and survivability that Orisa has is helpful. Right? That's my question. I don't think Sigma's good in second point. I think even Orisa is a lot better in second point. Does Brig just run out of pack? So not necessarily, no. But yeah, the Ashe is good. The Ashe is greedy, but the Ashe is good. You have Defender's advantage. You can put your Ashe here with Brig. You can park your BAP here, pocket your Tracer here, pocket your Tracer here, or whatever, and Orisa Anchor. It's fine. Yeah, so my question is just, do teams run the Orisa indiscriminately? If so, I feel like that can't be optimal. Or maybe is there a threat of teams going some sort of a dive hybrid, and the Orisa is what kind of discourages that? Cassidy's good here too. Obviously, the slightly longer sightlines, but if you put the Ashe into the locker, then maybe the Cassidy's better. Off-angle control from both Brig, Tracer, the Cassidy. And this is so bad for Falcons because you're running the Ashe, but look at where your team is positioned. Like, if you're running Ashe, but your Ashe is back here and not up here, you might as well be running, Cassidy. Like, this is awful.
Playing on the staircase, trying to harass where possible, but it's very much on Gio. Try to keep him honest, try to keep him from pursuing.
So cooldowns are traded. They don't actually get a tick here, so it's not the end of the world.
Outrange that AoE.
This time proper not going
Max is somebody that played with San Francisco Shock last season.
Actually looking to peek, outranging Lip. He's on down. Great play from Stalker.
Oh, what?
Proper also getting a dink there.
Ooh.
Down goes the Tracer.
There's the Ash rotation. There's what we love to see.
Up over the top.
Yeah, breaking those stairs goes crazy. Exactly.
Crazy Raccoon's gonna have to wait for that respawn from Heesung. Works his way back over, but Ant Matrixes from both squads now.
Yeah, Bat Bueno for Bat Bueno on the corner.
See.
Just like Overwatch 1 all over again.
Better. The Ash versus the Cassidy, both absolutely deadly with that amplified damage.
Javelin spin used, and the Javelin spin is the counter to the Bat Window, so I'm curious to see if we see a Bat Window here. Yeah, so there's no Javelin spin there, so they have to give that up. They'll get a tick. He's saying isolate Stalker. Where the frick is Stalker? I think he's just isolated out, and maybe they took that opportunity to brig pack their Tracer, he's saying, and then he wins a 1v1, but that's huge. And not only that, you notice that what Lip does. Okay, they're zoned out. I'm not going to AFK here and shoot through window. What do I do? Bam, he flanks. So now, oh, he actually gets some space out of this. So even if they LOS the window, the next fight, they're going to have a cast brig here and this here. That being said, what is that shot, man? Hello?
Stalker off screen in the meantime. Now their own Ant Matrix in plays. Bob gets
Jeez.
down.
The Bob is good too. I like the Bob. This isolates the cast brig, and actually I think they're pushable now. Like, maybe this is the thing with the Orisa. In these shorter sight maps, you get these isolated targets, you could actually dive them. With Sigma, you wouldn't be able to get here quickly enough. What the frick? How does this happen? I don't know what happens to Field or Chio. There's no reason they should die. That's just the raw mechanics right there. That's raw mechanics. That's raw mechanics right there. Something goofs up with the Falcons backline there. Good trade there, though, from Hanbin. Oh, okay, this is super messy. Wow.
That was a very close attempt there from the
Huh.
and extend that fight. End up defending.
Exclamation mark director's take, Kaiser.
Traded here. The advantage of FTG, where we did see a lot more.
Yeah, Lips hit some crazy shots. I mean, he must have. Fortify for Fortify, later Fortify. Pulse Bomb is used. Does it force Lamp? It does. It's off of the shield. Lip kills Fielder again, man. I mean, there's been a lot of deaths now by Fielder that just feel like kind of unearned, but you know, who am I to say? And like, this is what happens when you play Cassidy. Like, this is what happens when you play Cassidy. It's just, like, sometimes people just die. You can have all this like macro push-pull strategy, and then somebody just dies. Somebody just dies. And that's all really it is to it. You hate it, you love it, it is what it is. It's inevitable. Rally push. They don't have the rally up there. They actually have to give it up again. A lot of jockeying for space back and forth here. Ah, dive Orisa. This is what Sigma can't do. That kind of stuff right there. Bat Window's used. Let's get a clear high ground. Hunman! Okay, huge lamp there. They should. Oh, no, they keep pushing through with rally and the pulse bomb. Okay. Yeah, Falcons is just not able to stabilize. Okay, basically, what starts with this? Okay, so I want to kind of like follow the logic here. They lose their Baptiste. Their whole fight is without the Bat. Maybe it's just that simple. Chiyu catches the push, but they don't really force an ult out of it. And then the Bat Window's used in response, so Fielder is still in spawn, and Proper loses high ground. So now Falcons has no space, no Bat, no women, and yeah, and that's it. And then Raccoon just is able to push back with the rally, because if you think about Chio, the only thing that the rally did was just hold space.
Crazy Raccoon slowed up a bit on A, but this B is an absolute steamroll.
Yeah, a bit of a disaster for the Falcons as everything falls.
Losing Bap there was so big.
Pushed on. Really nice rotation there.
No mains.
On the low ground, pushing the cart, putting that healing in from safety. Then he came up, dropped the Ant Matrix.
Wait, there's no VOD? You can't go back. All right. If you guys are lying, I'm gonna lose it. Can you not go back and go like here, videos, Bro, click on the button. Look. It's me. It's my butt cheeks. You want my cheeks? There they are.
Health bars now.
No.
Trying to fight their way through this entrance, and Falcons not able to get line of sight easily here for Proper to control it. He's got a bob, but not a good angle.
Yeah, there isn't really a good angle for the bob right here, right? The way the backline is playing here, I think they need to put more pressure on Max here. Max will be forced out, and then maybe they get a bob angle later. Falcons has the ult bank here. I did squats today, actually. I freaking hate front squats, I'm not gonna lie. Actually, the worst in the world. So let's look at the setup here. Probably Brig Tracer control this angle here to mark the enemy Tracer, plus, because there's a Brig help, push backline. And they have Pulse soon, so that's going to be useful. We might see Orisa start to trade here with Bap and Cassidy.
Thank you for your DPS
Oh my
guides
gosh,
on
thank you for
YouTube
the
and
10
your
bucks.
other work.
I appreciate it. Yes, you're very welcome. I appreciate the donation, mate. That was very, very kind of you. Yeah. We'll keep your eyes open. We have a lot more projects going on behind the scenes, some educational stuff. We're working on the complete ultimate guide as well. So yes. So let's see. It's kind of interesting to see Tracer go point there, but we'll see.
The Am Matrix here. For the side.
10 out of 10 content plug, right? They're paying me. That's perfect. That's a deep window. Oof. Nice javelin there from Hanbin. Getting lamp for that is crazy. So by the way, sometimes you see these deep windows to prevent them from being able to kite out. Because if you like window back here, they just turn the corner. But if you window here, you can actually just like freaking, like your Orisa can freaking use the window, right? So it's like, it's not very good for the Baptiste, but yeah. They trade with, oh yeah, I don't know. This is from Shu seems a little bit hubristic. Maybe a little too close. Into the javelin, into the ultimate there. Why are you guys saying hatred? What does that mean? Am I missing something? Will they get the trades? The bob is good. Oh, it hits the Orisa. That's actually kind of unfortunate. Okay, never mind. They get the kills anyway. But yeah, they kind of kill the angle there, but I guess it doesn't really matter. You were talking about squats. Oh yeah, front squats freaking suck, man. Nobody likes front squats.
This is going to really play well to this Ash pick here for Proper and Lip. On this Cassidy,
I had to do like sprints this morning and then squats. Sucked.
Before he had the control of the choke point, he had Max in there to help
okay.
put that extra pressure.
A little bit of ult advantage. Falcons kind of has to play this one slow, back corner. It was a fight win, but it did cost them both Bob and a lot of their other stuff. So I think here, I mean, what do you do if you're Raccoon here? Do you wait for Pulse? Maybe, honestly, like, what you may need to do is just kind of, if you see an opportunity, go in with Orisa ult or Rally, but you might just have to kind of, like, play for Pulse, like, play for an aggressive Pulse, and then use that Pulse to kind of set up a push here, because this is kind of awkward. And if you're Falcons, your Ashe is definitely back here. Your Tracer can, like, look to trade backlines here or pressure from here. But you just kind of play, like, basically rally any push. There's a Javelin spin. There's a Rally. There's the Rally. Now, can they hold the space? Looks like the answer is yes. Just live. Because now you're in a better position. Do you see like how they went from here to here? It's like so much worse positions. Plus Heesing's in here. I would have liked to have seen Stalker mark Heesing there. But now Heesing is in the... Okay, there he is. He's trying to mark. But now they're in a pretty good position to hit Orisa ultimate. There's the window. High noon is used. Javelin spin is canceled. Oh, Lip should die here. Lip should 100% die here. Like any... Yeah, there's the window. Yeah, somebody died there. I was going to say somebody has to die there. They're way too naked. Yeah, that's it. It's a good catch by Falcons. That's a lot harder to do than it looks. Best exercise for stamina in amateur MMA? Sparring, really. With a good partner that doesn't give you brain damage. Best amateur MMA is to actually train. Do your sport if you want more stamina.
Surprisingly, they push up this far here, but didn't the last moment when they had that extra control. But either way, 90 seconds to go.
All right, what does Raccoon got? Bap window, set up a window. Not a lot of space for Cassidy to take angles here, so maybe they just go Ashe just because pick potential better range. But BAP window maybe to set up the pulse would be the way I'd like to look at things. Obviously, the Bob is awkward as well. There's the BAP window. Does Heesang take the angle off of it? Yes, he does. And there's the pulse bomb, just as predicted. Okay, let's actually talk about that. Because, like, there's a reason why we do things, okay? There are what we like to call brawl ultimates and poke ultimates. That's the best way of putting it. Short range ultimates, long range ultimates. Okay? So what you do is you want to get close to use your pulse bomb or your Orisa ultimate in your rally. But the enemy team is far away. They've got pokey characters, right? So they don't want you to get close. So what you do is you use an ultimate like a BAP window, maybe a Bob or a High Noon or whatever, to make this space dangerous. The enemy team hides from that space, which allows you to walk forward on top of them safely. You know what I'm saying? So what it does is this BAP window allows Heesang to get the angle, the flank that he needs. So that, right, if Heesang tried to take the angle now, he just gets shot or marked. It'd be really hard to take the angle. So what they do is they BAP window. Everybody hides. Javelin spin, everybody's hiding. Then Heesang gets the lane for free off of that distraction to be able to hit the pulse bomb. Poke sets up the brawl. That's the key thing there. Oh, nice pulse. I don't think it matters, but yeah. Yeah, he has lamp and shift.
But Hanbin is not within it, and that's going to be the push coming in. 55 seconds remaining. Crazy Racoon.
Long distance running is important. Yeah, I think some form of like long form cardio can be helpful.
In terms of how much damage output they had to burst down Hanbin, and a lot stick to it. Wanted to now based on how they did this attack, we get predictable time Sojourn rather than going for Cassidy here.
Okay, well played by Racoon. Well played.
Wait, we're checking. We're checking with
a lot. I've been really impressed overall with Racoon, with the exception of Rialto, which felt a little bit messy. But I've been really impressed overall with like the ability for Racoon to plan in a poke comp. That's when you know you have an elite level team, right? It's not just a team that can like push pull with dive or push pull with brawl, but you're talking about like these relatively static compositions with Baps and Briggs and Cassidys and so on, and they're still finding ways to like set up plans, set up plays, and so on. I find that really clever. Now, Falcons comp is pretty much the push-pull. It is basically this is what it's going to look like. Probably a 3-man split, or 4-man split, including Sojourn. Tracer maybe takes an angle, close the distance. If you close the distance, Lucio, Moira, Ram, very, very powerful. Now, the reason why you use the Ramatra is because the Ramatra is going to do work onto this backline if you can get close. Has a longer defensive cooldown cycle than Orisa, but the Nemesis form is really useful. Ram's probably not going to be played beyond first point. I think he's pretty bad. And the second point, I think he has similar issues with Sigma, where the more open the map, like Orisa's survivability feels a little bit better, which is weird given the fact that he's a poke weapon, but yeah. So it's a cheese? It's not a cheese, it's a unique strategy. Yeah, Heesang's, a lot of these San Francisco Shock players have had redemption arcs. It's been good to see.
Very sturdy composition if you can get into that stairwell, but getting there is the challenge.
There's the Nemesis form, there's the Lucio speed, there's the choke out. That's a nice response there from Lip to take high ground, but they are able to close the distance, and assuming they don't get traded here, this is pretty much lost. Yeah, really nice job from Falcons. They close the distance. Racoon doesn't react. I think Racoon's setup here needed to change. So if you look at their setup right here, we get a really nice frame right here. The setup needs to change in what way? Okay, you guys have watched my content for a long time. How does the setup need to change here? There's 2 people that are actually 3 people who are out of position here. Yes. These angles are way too greedy. This is not even a good angle. So who needs to be in a better position? High ground, right. So immediately, you see Lucio Moira, you immediately need to put your Brig Cassidy up top, right? That way they can destroy anybody that comes in between, and they can't be pushed unless they take the time to rotate all the way through. If they do that, then fine, you take a different off angle and you put your Brig Cassidy here, okay? Orisa playing aggressive is fine. Your Baptiste, yes, backside of point. Baptiste can start here and then rotate backside of point. Tracers, whatever. This is a really, really, really bad setup from Racoon. Like, really bad. Like, they're also stacked here. Like, they're playing this like it's a mirror. It's not a mirror. They're just going to 3-2-1 speed close, and there's no angle. You see this? Like, there's no angle. Like, look at the HP of Falcons as they're walking in, right? 1 rail and from Proper is all it took to just completely negate all of the damage output. So taking the high ground there is good. It's just too late. Tracer Mark, Rider Point, yeah. Either one. Well played by Falcons, but really, like, Raccoon just did not know how to respond with the setup there at all. It's me and Ram. So yeah, it's good food for thought. They're going to go Ana. Ana is basically like, oh, well, BAP is not going to save us versus this push if they get on top of us anyway. And Ana has a little bit more poke range. Plus, Sleep Dart and Nade can really murk this comp. The Sleep Dart, especially on Ram, feels really good. But I actually don't even know if Hanman should stay. Like, honestly, this might just be a 3-2-1 swap, like, right now. Like, I think you just go back to spawn and you go BAP Rig. Maybe stay Sojourn. There's no way you stay your support comp. It's too big of a point, and they do swap. Yes. Spilo's right. And now, like, you're running Ana, which is, like, honestly not too bad with this long of a sightline, but... Does their setup even make sense if they expected mirror? No, right? Kind of clubs. It seems like what has ended up happening is like a lot of teams are just kind of basically taking angles around the backside of point. So they were going for like early poke and then going to the backside of point and setting up angles around dumpster and the room, the kitchen, the cafe. So it was like early greed poke and then rotate to the backside of point angles. But yeah, yeah.
Going over to the Ana because he wants to play against the Ramatra. Now it's into the Orisa, which can just pop that.
You do have to be careful of Nade here. Like Nade will ruin Proper.
Down to double digits.
And the Ana is useful.
Also, we'll be able to pump tons of healing into Max, of course.
So it looks like, oh my gosh. Like you just, that's it. Like that's it. Like you don't want to lamp there if you're fielder because you're like, if I lamp, then we're like super vulnerable to like all that stuff. Proper lives pulse bomb though with a good time roll. So it looks like Falcons are just going to push cart as much as they can and only contest top when they need to. This is the thing with Raccoon. Because they got the nice staggers, Raccoon was actually able to get high ground on their attack, which was so big. One nice thing about Ana is like Nano is actually not too bad of an ult on defense here. Like BAP window is probably better in the poke mirrors most of the time, but like you could set up your Cassie and Tracer because they're on high ground, and a Nano on even an Orisa here could be pretty good.
Position fantastic now for Crazy Racoon despite
Fire crit isn't affected by the headshot crit nerf. Okay, good to know. Good to know. I mean, it's still a nerf to Malga because of the armor change, but okay, good to know.
the time bank.
Nano is available.
Thank you for the heads up, Boopabos.
Try to poke and prod where possible. Heesung works low. And just stay alive and slip out on the walkway.
OP angles, man.
Just to be careful. Mag grenade sent out to try to keep them.
Love mag grenade. Oh, that sleep dart is massive. Sleep dart is massive. It's like it means they're basically dead, and they're just gonna 3-2-1 push off of that. Oh, this is scary. Max could melt here. He is nanoed, but he could melt. He doesn't melt. He's able to hit the Cassidy.
Proper will get picked off. That
Why do the Krees keep randomly throwing nade? Because cast nade is terrible. And the best thing you could do is maybe chip damage or zone people. Nano and gold, but Nano doesn't stack with gold. It's the same thing. You don't get more damage reduction with Nano and gold. So we've seen Orisas die in front of BAP window with Fortify. Uh-oh. He's saying? He almost melted later, yeah. Javelin spin. High noon is used. Rally for rally. It's a good old trade for Falcons, though. They're going to push back with their high noon. And the crucial thing here as well is, like, Raccoon has, like, no space right now. So what I want to see is I want to see this. And then I want to see quickly Proper go yoink, yoink, yoink. And then I want them to try to take top. Maybe with Pole Swarm or something. But, like, this is an opportunity to take high ground here. Good mark there by Max. You know, Max. Okay, this is actually so smart for Max. This is such a small detail. Raccoon can't win this fight with ults. They can't brute force it. So they're not going to try and stop cart. They're just going to let the cart push. But what they are going to do is they're going to not let Falcons take high ground here. Now, this could be adjusted. Like, they could say, hey, I can't, the risks is here, right? They could go, okay, screw shoes, screw the cart. Let's 3-2-1, kill the isolated Max here. Max takes the high ground. Maybe they can brute force it out and so on. And Falcons probably win that story. But Max is like, all right, well, I can't stop you from pushing cart right now because we have literally nothing. But I could be an ass, and I could try to prevent you from taking high ground in the meantime. So they really, like, Falcons need to... Oh, it doesn't quite get it. But they need to, like Max is on high ground, guys. Like, Falcons has no space. Falcons is pushing cart, but Falcons has enough space to be able to take high ground if they wanted to. And they have a little bit of an ult bank here, where they could take high ground. And even the BAP window coming up here. And they're not doing it. And they're not doing it. Like, Racoon's still in high. There's the high ground. And then Orissa's there. And Orissa's still pushing cart. So, like, Falcons are choosing to push point here, and I don't like that decision. I really don't like that decision. The Orisa can go high, and then once you take the high ground, you can drop the cart. It's a nuanced decision. It is not not a throw by Falcons, but, like, you know, you had a window there to take the space, and now you're stuck right back in the choke again. Lip has swapped Widow here before. It wouldn't necessarily be a bad swap. For proper, actually.
Yeah, he's played a lot of it across his career.
Want them to ult to take height? Bro, they didn't even need to ult to take height. That's the thing. Like, there were one or two players from Raccoon on the floor. There was a window there to elevate. And yes, honestly, like, if you have to use an ultimate now, and now we're thinking about, like, high ground here, but, like, now Raccoon has the ultimates to say, this is probably not a good idea. Like, I actually don't think you can take high ground anymore. Oh, that's a nade. That's a nade and a half. A nano, lamp, window, ultimates used. And that's it. I mean, it's a big commitment there. But I told you about the Orisa melting. He almost died there. It is a big commit there. But, yeah.
And that is going to be the team kill with 1 minute and 25 seconds remaining.
I mean, that was a beautiful fight, all just set up.
But this is what I'm talking about. Like, even now, like, you're talking about rally now. You have high, like taking high now is honestly, like, may not even be a possibility. Oh, that's a big kill. Reset, back to spawn. Another 30 seconds. Wait, what? Overextension and a catch. Oopsies. Window of opportunity there. That's Fortify as well. Falcons. Walking. Yeah. Now the rally. Oh, no. You need to fortify that, Hanbin. You need to fortify! You have an active rally. Let's go. You're up one as well. Oh, that's such a troll. Oh my gosh. What an epic troll. 2000. That's actually so bad. And that completely screws Falcons' ability. And now we're just basically jockeying ultimates, but Falcons haven't actually made it. Like, Falcons should have been able to cross the bridge there.
Ever so slightly, but eyes are out here. Shu keeping tabs on as is Heesung.
Here comes the nano. They win high ground again, and now we're back to we're right back to square one. All that mess. He tries to pull the Orisa off of high ground, doesn't work. Fielder actually goes on it here, which is pretty funny, and then they're just gonna push in with the Orisa ultimate, and that's it. I mean, Falcons just doesn't take the space, and they have the opportunity to, and even them lose, like the poor setup on first point defense, like that was so easy. Yeah, well played by Raccoon, man. Well played. They really both teams, I think, relatively layering ultimates well, but man, Falcons just absolutely dumpstered when it comes to like actually playing the map properly. They didn't take the high ground when they could, and then when they really didn't have the positions or the angles or the ults for it, they then tried to brute force high ground and instead of forcing point. So it's like they got it backwards, man. They got it backwards. The fights when they should have been pushing point because they didn't have the ults, they didn't, and vice versa. Like, you can't push up into nano, rally, or Orisa, whatever, even if you also have those ultimates. It doesn't work.
Strike combo,
So.
Genji dive.
Okay. Is this it, guys? I guess we could just jump right into it. This might be one of our shorter team reviews. There's been a lot of fast maps here. Especially compared to EMEA. Nepal was really fast. Suravasa was relatively fast. What else was really fast? Oh, yeah, Rialto was pretty fast. Yeah. Yeah. Crazy Racoon throughout the series just controls space so well. Yeah, I mean, they're playing well. They're playing really well. It's 4-1, right? Okay, let's take a look.
Some big damage here.
I'm not gonna lie with you guys. This is freaking weird, but we've already seen this. Do you guys remember the Heesing POV we did last week? The Heesing POV we did on, I think it was Saturday, right? On Eichenwalde, right? So basically, the concept is that you have a turn, a cycle where a character is really strong. Where it's the Mauga goes in and engages. That allows your Genji to int. And Genji versus Tracer, Genji, better with verticality, right? And this map has a little bit of verticality. But more importantly, Genji's better during a very brief window of time where he's like really high and then he's just like not as valuable as Tracer. Mauga committing with a slam onto a backline, a Cassidy, whatever, is what's going to enable Genji to be able to do that. And Racoon did that very well. Very well. So we'll see how Racoon does with that. Falcons needs to be able to absorb that cycle and then just demolish and punish. They'll have better angle control with their Tracer. They'll have more consistent neutral pressure with their Orisa Cassidy. Obviously, Rail is still a problem, but yeah.
So not a lot of stability.
Orisa ruins Mauga, but Mauga will still get the engage that he wants. So this should be hard, but there will be a period of time where Racoon are very lethal. It's right now. And this is where you need amp speed, Genji in, 3, 2, 1, and it has to work right now. Otherwise, you're dead. And there it is. You see the turn? Bam. Doesn't quite get the crit slam. There's Suzu. There's Cardiac. Also, maybe Genji benefits a lot from Cardiac, too. There it is. There it is. And then he lives just long enough to get his run back, and that's it. There's your turn. Now, what could have been done better from Falcons? I don't know. Maybe this punish here could have been better. Maybe focusing on Junban maybe ended up not working out quite as well, though I don't think it's necessarily a mistake. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. I think maybe more pressure on the Genji would have been a better play there. But it's hard to say. We'll see. As this map opens up, there might be more opportunities for Cassidy Tracer. I'd also like to look at like how the off angles are split there, because I will say it might just be okay for Fielder to not be stacked on top of Proper. The mistake here might be putting too many healing resources onto Proper, when really all you need to give him is some healing and a Suzu, and instead trade backlines. Because they're committing everything to close the distance. There's no amp, there's no Suzu, there's no dash, there's no deflect, there's no slide, there's nothing. Somebody could get traded here.
This is exactly what Crazy Racoon do. They're like, oh yeah.
There's the Sojourn swap. That's going to be a good solution for this, because now there's no turn. There's nobody to int on. Stalker then counterpicks that by saying, okay, screw you as well. I'm going to also go for an anti-Mauga character and just poke you out. I actually think the Echo swap is kind of unnecessary. I think that you have all that you need versus the Genji, but sure. Proper was a bit close, got hit by dash. Yeah. I think the Genji came in from a flank. Which, hey, there you go. That's the word.
This is going to be the most important contest here for Falcons to see if they can try to reestablish some control, get this bot out of their hands, and get a counter.
There's the pressure on Junban. He runs away. The angle's forced. They're still forcing Cart. They force Fortify. Really, right now, Falcons just needs to chill and get their Echo and Sojourn into powerful positions. If they can get their Echo Sojourn on top, they're cooking. Like, right now, I think the mistake here is that Mauga, when he's on the freaking floor, he could do nothing. I think that you need to rotate either your Echo or your Sojourn, one or the other, up to high ground here and just off angle from here. Like, that's the weakness of the Mauga. And yet, there's all kind of stacked here. Like, there's no reason for this to be here. Like, you need to be here, lasering somebody down with Echo or Sojourn. And then also, the Suzu's just a tad late. That's crucial, because that's going to give Smurf just even a few more seconds. Maybe Smurf gets his ultimate, but yeah. It's rough. Is my viral name Melbourne Oswald? I'd appreciate if you didn't dox me live on stream.
And
Cleans up
Jinmin,
Geo.
he absorbed
It's
so
actually
much
Melbourne,
damage.
Jacksonville,
He was
Oswald.
the reason why Toronto had that sound barrier so fast.
But yeah, this is like, I will say, everyone like froths at the mouth at like the Fielder Chio stack. Oh, these guys are so good back in the 2022 Dallas finals, and like the on a brig combo, they like gave each other's kisses and held each other's hands. But like, this is, I guess, maybe, I don't want to like push a narrative here.
Jacob, prostate is Spilo's name.
But we are seeing Fielder and Chio play together a lot, and not like necessarily split and support stuff, and it just doesn't work, man. Like, it doesn't work, you know? Like, Fielder is really not a very proactive Kiriko. The DPS are not necessarily getting the same level of support when they are splitting, at least that we're seeing. I'm seeing a lot of stack supports from this backline, and yeah, still great, like the GOAT supports, you know? But like, this is like this they're not like, I think people look back like, oh yeah, this is like the automatically the, but like the weaknesses of like how they play it is maybe something to consider here.
Often, and he did so much damage, and now the snowball is well and truly rolling down the hill. Dragonblade at the ready. Chio,
You know?
if his barrier gets pulled out early, it's a free fire.
Questionable, like awful combo, like actually awful combo from Raccoon. You only needed one of those ultimates to get the space that you needed. The reason why they're doing this, in my opinion, is because this corner is awkward. So if you can get them to back up, then what you do is you actually can now put your like your Sojourn or whatever on this high ground here, right? And now you actually have good space control, but you really didn't need to do both. Like that's silly. It's totally redundant. This is not layering. This is stacking. We don't like stacking. Chorong just clears. Chorong is great.
Giving up so much distance, and Khalil 75 meters here. This is one of the fastest pushes we've ever seen on Esperanza.
Yeah, I mean, but let's not get over the top here. That was double ultimates here.
What they can do to try to stop this when the blade is there. Beat to try and deny that damage. Smurf is pushing forward. Terror Surge coming through. He's going to be standing still. Barely gets
Like, there's the layering we want to see,
dashes in, finds one. Trade out on the tanks thus far, but proper slide
right? So watch.
what they can do to try to stop
Orisa, okay, so first off, Smurf is getting a little goofy with it. He's a little deep, I will say. So we Orisa ults. They Malga.
Terror Surge coming
Sojournal's used as well. Maybe not the best. They Blade. They beat. So both DPS use ultimates, which is not great from Falcons.
sliding away. Gets a point
But at least there's some level of layering there.
cleaning up
But yeah.
two on the back end. And that's going to be the
You get what I'm
first
saying?
control found here
The
for
problem was just the
side
stacking.
Falcons is to get the team kill.
Now, Crazy Raccoon's committed everything.
Yeah, drop it in Ask Spilo here. It's a good question. You have priority, Patreon priority, so next time I do Ask Spilo, I'll take a look at it.
Orisa, so looking for a little bit more dive access of that back line. But at least for Team Falcons, it's a complete ult reset. If they had won that fight, Crazy Raccoon, the map ends.
Winston's time. Winston time. More space. Similar concept to the turn, but you have the ability to disengage your turns a little bit more consistently than Malga because you get your jump back faster than Malga gets his run, right? And Tracer, he's saying Tracer because I think the time for the cheese has passed. And also, by the way, Winston, Echo, it's not a counter swap by any means, but maybe you don't want to play Malga and do the full Echo Sojourn experience.
Now,
Superior Sojourn positioning, you really don't need to do anything. You have beat, but they have Kitsune, you don't really need to do anything. Superior Sojourn positioning, you have high ground, there it is, look at that. They actually commit the dive after they've already forced the Orisa to be critical, and they've already forced like this guy's critical and Javelin Spin, right? So there's double support ult. If they can keep Junbin alive, they can.
power here is Lip. Looks for a target with that ram.
Ah, what a Javelin, holy crap. Kitsune is used. Somebody has to die like now. Okay, Proper gets caught off guard. I do not think he was expecting the Kitsune. To be frank, I was not expecting the freaking Kitsune.
His own sound barrier nearly built up. Pulls back
Sojourn for Sojourn here.
alive for
He's then coming up on Pulse Bomb.
go, and he will
Chio coming up on Beat. They might look for a Beat. Oh!
drop in, catches everyone.
They should be able to catch Chorong. They do. They catch Shu. Okay, we're good.
At the same time, so now support this R Crazy Raccoon as Sticky's come across, but he's unable to recall.
Yeah, whatever Anima says is probably right.
Gets juggled into the corner, and he's
Anima's a good coach, so whatever Anima says is probably right.
There, and if
I don't have time to read all that, so sorry to hear about that, or congratulations, or whatever the meme says, but whatever Anima says is probably right.
around this corner, you have to imagine, as for Crazy Raccoon,
I think it's 50 minutes. It's something like that. You'll see it. You'll see me pull it up on the screen. You can just skippity right through it. Okay, so they actually stay on the Echo because copy. They are going to try to retake high ground here, Racoon is, and they're going to try and use the Sojourn ult from high. The question is Stalker going to be able to get something goofy like a Winston copy to be able to stuff this copy out? To be able to stop the Sojourn ult out? He doesn't, but he does zone it. He gets headshot immediately and shut down. No. Okay. Not the copy he was looking for. Not the copy he needed. Not the copy he deserved. He gets nothing. And as usual, Lip is just a crack addict. Hey, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Crack addict. And not in a good way. Actually, is there a good way with crack addict? I don't know. Weird slide from proper. Let me see. Yeah, I think he just goes for the play. You know, like that. The echo copy clearly failed, and he thinks his echo is has his attention, so he slides up to like follow up off of it, and it just does error. I don't think it was that weird. I mean, it was the only way they clutched that fight. I think they just messed that was their only way to clutch it out. Okay, and then now like Racoon really doesn't have any need to do anything. Falcons are here, so there's no real like way of baiting things. So you just hold high ground. And Kitsune, the first time anything happens. Oh my days. Okay, well that makes things... That is an unbelievably bad result for Racoon. You have the positional advantage, and you just die. So, that sucks. That's an unfortunate bubble from Junman. He gets kind of sped rotated on. Fortify is used. Cart's being stolen away slowly. There's Javelin spin. He actually pulls the Orisa away, or the Winston away from the sliding Sojourn. Junman should get melted here. Oh, no, he disengages. So it's like a little bit unfortunate. It's like kind of like redundant, right? The Orisa was fine to prevent the follow-up from the Primal, as with the Kitsune, but they end up using 2 for 1, and then Racoon just disengages entirely. So like as ugly as this haul has been, Falcon's ult bank is all of a sudden looking really dry, and all they've done is they've got the cart to a more neutral position. Proper's ult bank is used, or Proper's ult bank, I say. Proper's Sojourn ult is used. Racoon actually responds with beat. They get it. That's where the Winston's nice. Like you can actually push off of that. The beat is used. The pulse is used. The beat is used. Racoon responds with a Kitsune. There's no Kitsune. This is the layering. Oh my days, the layering is insane. And that's it. Whoever has the last ult wins, and that's it. Crucially there, the beat is forced by Chio because Heesang hits the pulse bomb. Hey, Grimacent. So really, I mean, just Racoon made it work. The Primal for 2 for 1. They live. They keep the position. The Sojourn ult is used. The beat is then used. They hit the pulse bomb. That forces the enemy beat. Then they Kitsune. It's a giant mess. But again, Racoon just comes out on top. No, this is not post Orisa. Now, did they get the corner turned? They do get the corner turned. Kind of. They don't really get the Sojourn on the position, but they are able to get their Winston on the position, so they are able to get a kind of positional advantage. Winston trade for backlines. Smurf actually makes the trade to Winston. And Lip catches Chio. What is Chio doing? Where's Chio here? You know, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like, what happened to Chio there? Like, where did Chio go? He just gets totally split. He really should have been there with Proper. I don't know if he was trying to, again, like what? Like, I want to see if this initial position concerns me, and I think it might concern me a little bit. Like, maybe I'm overthinking this one just a little bit. But, like, it looks like Chio starts to walk forward instead of trying to mark the Winston on the top and/or play with the Proper on the angle, and then just gets completely caught out of position. Yeah, not the best angle there from Chio. He really should have been leaning up top left there and should be trying to work with Proper there. Yeah, so rare mistake there from Chio. Chio gets traded. Junman does dying things. Where's Junman? Junman's on point and messes up the jump. Junman just messes up the jump. Junman just jumps into the air. Like I think Junman missed the window. So that's kind of unfortunate. Big mess. Heesang hits the pulse. Lip tries to clutch it, and Lip will not clutch it. Oh, maybe? No. What a messy fight, man. Yeah, he might have gotten booped by Chorong, yeah.
Running back here, but a bit of a delay, bit of a denial.
But overall, big favors for Raccoon, though, because, like, all that to happen, and the fact that the cart's still here is, like, honestly fine. Like, it sucks that you used your Sojourn ult. I guess I wouldn't say big favors, but overall, like, pretty much a neutral situation, because you're just going to be able to retake the high ground and start all over again. Yeah, there's no opportunity to, like, reset the bot at that point. High ground's played again. The good news is that with Winston, it is easier for Falcons to retake a positional disadvantage because you have things like Winston jump and bubble that can allow you to rotate under pressure top. There's still Lucio boop that could prevent you from taking top, but, like, you can do stuff as opposed to where the Rissa, like, where high ground's like right there, like, look at that. Now the high ground's gone. Chorong doesn't quite get the boop. And so the high ground, even though they're not knocked totally off the high ground, they're knocked enough to where, like, it takes time for them to go back. And so there's no real follow-up. Thought he was going to miss it again. I'm not going to lie with y'all. Again, another big jump. Fielder actually TPs with a jump and pops Kitsune, and then they jump again. That forces beat. Stalker just kills Heesang? Or no, Heesang kills Stalker. I think Stalker was maybe trying to force a pulse mob and then ended up without recall. Because this is looking good from Falcons, right? Like, you get the bubble, you get the Kitsune, everyone's low. Chorong probably should have died. But you get in, you still haven't popped your Primal Rage, you force beat. This is a good trade here. Like, look at the space that they've gotten off of this relatively even neutral trade, but Stalker's just freaking dead. And he's getting Primal back by the enemy Winston. Okay, he should be okay. The whole trade there was, like, perfect from... Oh, and the beats late from Chio. Like, Smurf has to be freaking fuming right now. He's had the entire backline on him for, like, an hour. And they lose the fight. And then the Kitsune... Oh, I don't know if it's enough. I don't know if it's enough from proper. Maybe? Okay, it's never mind. It's enough. It's proper. Never mind. But, man, that is so ugly from Falcons there. Welcome back, Prostate. So, narrowly avoided disaster there from Falcons. Will Crazy Racoon try to rotate top? There's two people on cart. There's one person on cart, so they should be able to brute force this. Deep Winston jump, bubble down, allow your team to rotate out, just like that Nepal review we had earlier, right? And then because there's one person on cart, you should have the advantage on top. So will Falcons rotate safely? The answer is yes. It's a little messy, but the answer is yes. There's no real ults, though. Sojourn ult. Lip is under a lot of pressure. Wow, that's crazy. I think Falcons needed to be in a better position to disengage an ultimate. I think maybe a little bit less craziness to stuff it. But, like, once you lose that high ground, I think you actually have to play to just disengage. But that's a very difficult situation for them to be in, especially with how well executed it was by Racoon.
And Falcons are just so split. There's no punish. This is down the enemy DPS.
Okay.
Contested, he's untouched. Sound barrier ready for Chorong here. Again, faster than Chio. 10 seconds to go. We might be crowning our first OWCS champions, Achilles.
Falcons really needs their support ults here. Like, desperately needs their support ults. They get the touch. They're going to get Kitsune. Sojourn slide is forced here. Okay, I've got to slow this down here. So Sojourn's slide is forced here. Early by the Winston. Pulse is also used by Heesang. Smurf is really low. Did he pulse Smurf? Yeah, he did. Smurf is 1. Fielder drops to help Smurf. Smurf is still low. Chio's out of position and doesn't have beat. Stalker dies again. He just dies. Lip drops to kill Stalker. Oh, that's it, man. They don't get the beat in time. They don't get the beat in time. And Smurf is so low from that pulse bomb by Heesang. And Chio is just out of the fight. Like, where I think the bubble from Smurf, yeah, the primal from Junman, excuse me, just zones out Chio so badly. It's just basically 1, 2, 3 ults, and then they really only have the one, and they don't even set up the one in time, and they don't even get the beat in time. Raccoon just basically clamps the lid down right before Falcons gets their spike back. Wow. Yeah, yeah. It was well played. It was really, really well played by Raccoon. Really, honestly, some pretty solid play overall. I think both teams played reasonably well. I think Raccoon just had the better ult planning. Like, consistently, like, the better ult planning, better space control. I think Falcons really looked lost in some of their space control. And in terms of mechanical stuff, like, it's really hard to say, like, who had a better showing. I think both teams, like, did relatively well. I think my one, like, nitpick is I don't know if the Fielder Chio backline is as, like, elite in these kind of situations. Like, it's still amazing. But it definitely feels like with the amount of, like, proactivity and creativity that is demanded, like, you need your Kirikos taking more space, and I just don't know if it was happening. Yeah. Yeah, Hanman Orisa was rough, too. Yeah. I would agree with that. Like, who was playing Orisa and Suravasa? Smurf? Yeah, I mean, I think Smurf played well, man. There has to be a reason why Hanman was in. There has to be a reason why the crusty crack pipe strikes again. Hollywood as well, yeah. Because I was starting to think about, because I think if I remember correctly, Smurf's Orisa was pretty good on Suravasa. Like, it was reasonable, right? Like the ult planning and all that kind of stuff, like the timing and stuff. At least from the eye check, which is not super accurate, right? I don't have the POVs, but yeah, Hanman Orisa, there was more circumstances when Hanman Orisa was a problem on Hollywood. I just don't know. Played Diva in Hollywood before? Maybe, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. They swapped the Hanman for something. It must be like the Diva thing that Klops was talking about. But man, getting sucked into that is tough.